Welcome, and this is another powerful lineup of speakers from all around the world. They have gathered together to be able to inspire you, to speak to you, to share their personal stories and stories of success that can actually propel you to where you exactly you're supposed to be in your career, in your family, in your business, in whatever you are doing right now. And so, welcome to once again to our Speakers Mastery Part 2 with the Auditors Hub S community. All right. So if you're watching live on YouTube, let us know which part of the world you're watching from. Right here on the studio, we're having amazing speakers from Africa, from Japan, and of course from United States. And to begin, we have Melanie Pomedi Nji right away from the Republic of Cameroon and in the capital city of Yaoundé, the heart of the country. And of course, we're having an amazing uh, Tanwi Quintolin right away from Japan, and she is ready. And of course, and many other speakers that will be lining up as we kick off. And without any wastage of time, let us know which part of the world you're watching us from. And we're excited to have you on board. And we're diving straight to our first speaker. And this is not any other person, but the one and only Melanie Homenge. Please put your hands together for Melanie as she brings us the power of self-talk in a noisy era. You don't want to miss that. Get your pen, get your jotters as we dive deeper, friend. Melanie, you are welcome.
Thank you, Oliver. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Melanie Pwemiji. Call me Mel Speaks. And today I want to talk about a voice that often gets drowned in today's world. Not about what you say out loud. I want to talk about what you tell yourself in silence. In a world full of noise, what is your inner voice telling you? Sometimes we feel that we are not good enough. And then we start giving informations into ourselves. A few years ago, my marriage failed. Yes, and one of the reasons why my marriage failed was because I couldn't have children. I was achieving on the outside, but I was exhausted on the inside. And sometimes when I open my phone, I saw people doing more, people being more, people achieving more, people getting married, people celebrating wedding anniversaries. I saw people doing baby showers. I saw people celebrating their children's first birthday. I remember one day I was stuck in traffic. And like every other human being of this noisy era, I went straight into my phone in order to wind time. In the middle of the chatting in the bus, in the middle of the social media, the podcast, and all the content I was scrolling through, pressure stepped in. Then I realized that the real noise that was loudest in my head was not the noise that was coming from outside. It was my inner voice, what was inside me. My very own self-talk became my critic. And I started telling myself, Melanie, maybe if you had done more, you would have saved your marriage. Maybe you should have just give a deaf ear to the insults and the name calling. You would have saved your marriage. Maybe if you had just stayed longer than the 10 years that you made, you would have saved your marriage. At that moment, it was a turning point for me because I realized that something had to change because I know the sacrifice that I made to make my marriage work. And then my inner man was telling me it was my fault. So at that time, I decided to look into my self-talk. Self-talk will shape your self-talk in this era of noise will make you feel like you're not good enough. So if you can master your self-talk, it is not only helpful, but it is essential. I decided to forgive myself. I decided to take little steps every day. And then I decided to make way in my own pace with all the comparison and competition the external world has put in my head, the young divorcee that I was. And today, my dear friends, I am seated on YouTube, hosted, and sharing the same virtual space with Oliver Shaw. You can do it. You can do far more better than me. So I put it to you. What is self-talk to you? Self-talk is that inner dialogue that plays in your inner mind throughout your life. It shapes how you see yourself. It equally shapes how you handle failure and how you relate and show up for others. There are two kinds of self-talk. There is the positive self-talk and there is a negative self-talk. Now, positive self-talk is when something goes wrong and you tell yourself, I am learning. When we face challenges or we are going through tough times and we tell ourselves, I'm learning, I'm trying, I'm putting in my utmost best. That is positive self-talk. Now, negative self-talk is when you tell yourself, come on, what were you thinking? Did you think you could make it? Why would you even want to dive into such a business? You're not worthy. Now, this is you talking to yourself in a very negative way. We live in an era where most of us are not even aware of what we say to ourselves until it becomes so loud in our head that we are unable to ignore. When you wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone or your laptop, notifications start coming in. Latest news starts coming in. Opinions start coming in. People's motivations, people's ideas, comparison. You want to start being like the people you see. Everywhere is information, and you have to put all that together. But this is the truth. We cannot, dear friends, control the external voice. We cannot control what people say to us or put on your social media platforms. But there's one thing I can assure you. We can strengthen our inner voice by telling ourselves what we want to hear, because that is the most powerful voice that we possess. Think of self-talk like an internal coach. Just try to visualize it. Self-talk as an internal coach will make you handle tough situations easily. In tough moments, when you sit and listen to yourself, your inner mind, what do you hear? Do you hear a coach or do you hear a critic? Think about that. I once worked with a young entrepreneur. She's a CEO. She does well with her business, but no matter how good she was, she always doubted herself. She's called Gladness. Very beautiful and very industrious. But the doubt she had of herself was enormous. When she came to me for coaching, I realized 1 week in the coaching that her major problem was her inner voice. So I made her write positive affirmations and put beside her mirror where she recited it to herself every day. 21 days later, she had a problem with her business. And when she called me and said, "This is the situation I'm going through," and I asked her, "So what do you think?" She said, "Oh, I have faced worse situations than this, so I think I can do better." But mind you, before we started this coaching, whenever she had a problem, the first thing she would say to herself is, "I am not good enough. I am not cut off for this. Business is not for me." So this little shift from the negative self-talk to the positive self-talk changed her leadership capacity and enhanced her confidence. And today, she's doing so well. So I ask you, what do you tell yourself when you're at a crossroad? How do we master self-talk? How do you talk to yourself without adding more noise to the already existing noisy world that we are in today with everything that it entails? I'll give you 3 steps, which I call the 3 C's of self-talk. So for you to master self-talk, you need to catch it, you need to challenge it, and you need to change it. What does that mean? If you have to master self-talk, you need to catch it. How do you catch self-talk? Do a little exercise. Whenever you're before a problem, a challenge, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it, "Come on, girl, you can't do this. You are not even good enough"? Or is it, "Man, you did your best. You know you can do this. If you keep practicing, you cannot be held. You know you will break the sky"? What do you hear between these 2 things I just said? That is how you catch your self-talk. Then secondly, if the self-talk you just caught, after noticing the inner voice you have whenever you before a challenge, you have to challenge the inner voice. There are 2 ways, very simple. If you are the kind of person that is so hard on herself or himself, if you are like me, who is so hard on herself, when that time comes, ask yourself, if it was my loved one, would I say these words? If it was my child and they have before this failure, would I say these things? And if it were them, will I not say kind words to them for them to feel better? If it is the case that you say kind words to them, then why can we not say those kind words to us when we are facing a challenge? Secondly, ask yourself, when those negative words come up, if it were my child and this negative thought comes up, is it the truth? If my child fails in school, is it because he's not intelligent? And can you outrightly tell the child, you're so not intelligent, that's why you can't make it in school? The answer is no. So when that voice comes into your mind and you say to yourself, I'm not good enough, is it true that you're not good enough? So in order to challenge your self-talk, negative self-talk especially, ask yourself if you could say that to another person, or if that inner voice is true to your life. If the answer is no, then we go to the third point on how to master your self-talk, which is changing the self-talk. So if you have noticed that you're always having a negative self-talk, and you have been able to challenge yourself that you will not say that to another person, then change what you say. Say things like, I will do better. Say things like, I am learning. One thing you should understand about self-talk is that it permits you to rewire your brain. When we are facing difficult situations, self-talk helps us to rewire our brain for a long period of time, such that our brain shows us kindness and not criticism. Remember, whatever you put your energy in, it's exactly what you get. So the more you show kindness to yourself, your brain, your inner voice adapts to showing you kindness, and you shift from the negative self voice to the positive self voice. Beware of what you tell yourself. Self voice shapes our confidence. Self voice, it shapes our peace. It gives us peace, because that is what we tell ourselves amidst all what people say and all the advice that is given to us. Self-voice, self-talk equally upgrade your potential, because the information that matters to you the most is what you tell yourself, is what I tell myself, and is what you should tell yourself, is what we should tell ourselves. In a world where we hear 1,000 of opinions every day, with social media, with television, and everything that goes around, I want to leave you with this single question, dear friends. What will change in your life today if your inner voice was your strongest support and not your biggest obstacle? Today, I invite you to turn down the external noise in our lives. Let's turn it down and let's increase the volume. We turn up the volume of kindness, of clarity, of courage on ourselves, in our inner self, as we tell ourselves the positive things, no matter the situation. Because in this noisy era, the most powerful voice that we will ever hear is our voice, and not the voice of the world, not the voice of social media, not the voice of content creators, not even the pressure from family members. Our voice. Be kind. Let's be kind to ourselves and let's listen to our voice. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the amazing, amazing Melanie. What a presentation. Woo! What a presentation. Thank you so much, Melanie. Okay, guys, let us know right on the comment section what was your take home. I learned that content creators, bloggers, whatever, whoever will not determine who I have to be. I have to choose my words, I have to choose my thought, and I have to be my internal coach. You know, when I listen to myself, who do I hear? When I'm alone, who do I hear speak to me? So I've learned to listen to my coach right inside me to tell me what to do. And I'm going with positivity, not negativity. What a presentation. Thank you so much, our infatigable speaker, top international speaker, Melanie. Okay, great. Okay, guys, thank you so much for putting down what you learned. Dr. Daniel says, I'm watching from Cameroon. Fru Bella, one of our speakers, said, positive self-talk will be my takeaway, take whenever I encounter a challenge as from today. Yes, yes, let's do it. Thank you so much. You nearly appreciate that. That was so great. The president of the Auditors Hub S committee said something. She said, self-talk helps rewire our brains to show us kindness and not criticism. And that is it. So last comment I want to read. Your own voice is your loudest voice. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, Tabi King, for that. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, ma'am, Melanie. Great job, guys. Great job, great job, great job. Let's do it. Let's get ready to be fired up again from our speaker from, I don't know if Japan is Republic of Japan or, or United Japan. But again, Japan is a Republic of Japan. All right. So whatever. Let's welcome our next speaker right from Japan. And she is actually at 5 a.m. in the morning, while some of us are warming in the afternoon and some people are enjoying the evening. She is into banking and financial. Let's hear finance. So the next speaker is not any other person but Tanwi Quintolin. And Tanwi Quintolin is going to be talking to us on braving the art of financial management. Maybe anytime money enter your hands, you just it's finished. Money enter your hand, you buy scotch egg, you buy biscuit, you buy gari, you buy, it's finished. And now we have an expert who is gonna tell you what to do when money enters your hand. Yes, put your hands together as we welcome the one and only Tanwi Quintolin.
Hello, Oliver. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining in. I am Tanwi Quintolin, and I will be talking on braving the odds of financial management. Statistics show that there is a greater increase in the employment of financial managers than there are in other occupations. This is because finance is a very crucial function in almost every business and individual. Are you at ease with your finances, or do you get worried when your finances are analyzed? There is a local adage that states, I translate in English, it is even harder to manage money than it is to work for it. It is even harder to manage money than it is to work for it. 3 years ago, I was so worried about my status. Being brought up in a seemingly average background where finances was for the most part a challenge, I had the urge to gain financial freedom. Living and working in a developed country, I felt that my financial freedom was sure. But it appears that I was missing out on so much on how to achieve financial freedom. So I thought to myself that getting multiple streams of income would perhaps help me gain financial freedom. I got a second job and I even started an online sales business. After a while, I evaluated my finances, but I wasn't making as much progress as I expected. Unfortunately for me, the Parkinson's law on personal income had dawned on me. His law states, even as income rises, expenses will rise to meet income. Even as income rises, expenses will rise to meet income. This means that as our income increases, our spending will definitely increase to match up with our income, which doesn't leave behind as much in savings than it were before. I became even more angry with myself. So I had to seek more knowledge on how to practically uh, get more knowledge on how to manage my finances. I realized that the problem is not just about getting multiple streams of income, but it is on how to manage your finances and also to get valuable investment projects. So I was able to come up with some strategies on how to brave the odds of our finances. First, you must be very honest with yourself about your attitude towards money. How do you behave when money gets into your hands? Remember that financial faithfulness is directly proportional to financial fruitfulness. Financial faithfulness is directly proportional to financial fruitfulness. Second, you must decide on a percentage of your income that goes into your savings. You should also set up a time frame where you periodically review your finances and take effective measures towards adjusting the lapses you noticed. In addition, getting an accountability partner is very important. Accountability encourages responsibility, which ultimately will lead to increase in your financial management ideas. You must not save after you have spent, but you must save before spending. Remember that there is savings in every income, so let that income count. If I have been able to brave the odds of financial management, I believe that we can also brave the odds of financial management. As much as we say that money is not everything, but money is the amplifier of our voices. Let us be able to manage our finances such that we are comfortable to do even better in various spheres of life. Thank you.
Wow. All right. So can you put your hands together for our speaker? What a great presentation. In these days in primary school and secondary school, when you do a presentation, the clap, the clap. This is so inspiring. What a great presentation and very, very interesting. So, what are my take homes? What I've written already? Financial faithfulness equals financial fruitfulness. That is my take home. That's so powerful. When you're faithful with your finances, you're definitely going to be fruitful in your finances. All right. So, quick questions. So, at this point, we're going to receive questions to our speakers. Um, if you have a question right now, ask them as they have just closed the curtains of their conversations. Before we get their parting words, if you have a question, you can ask them right now. Uh, oh my gosh. Yes, thank you so much. Great presentation of Quintaline Canway. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's get some questions there from each and every one of you. Uh, Lenio Christina says, even as income rises, expenses rise to meet it. Yeah, the Parkinson law. Thank you for talking about the Parkinson law. Tanwi Quintaline. That's powerful. So, first question to Quintaline, Tanwi. How do you manage, how do you work it hard in such a way that for those who are earning more, uh, the tendency of earning more is that you're going to increase your lifestyle. You cannot be working in a bank. You cannot be having a company. You make more money and you live in a kind of a funny house and you eat 2 square meals or 1 square meal per day. You want to eat three. At times, you want to go beyond snacks and all of that. What advice can you give to people who earn more and who have the capacity or the potential to earn more on how they can meticulously manage their finances in respective of the more money they make on weekly and monthly basis? 3 tips.
Okay, Oliver, thank you so much for the brilliant question. I believe that setting a financial budget is very important. Setting a financial budget and prioritizing your spending to maximize your income will help you not to succumb to impulse spending. In so doing, not only the high income earners and even average income earners will be able to maximize their incomes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Quintaline. Another question is coming from you for you. For those who are living abroad, Europe, America, and all of that, some people in Cameroon that use credit cards and debit cards. You understand what I'm talking about? So most of the time, you
Yeah.
carry the card along. Anything you see, yep, you put in the machine, the credit, the credit, the credit. At the end of the day, some people spend a lot of money when they are having the credit card more than people who don't use the credit card or the debit card. They use cash. What are your recommendations for credit card owners and for debit card owners that they spend a lot of money, they subscribe online before the notice money is finished, and they're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? How do you advise them on how to use their credit cards and debit cards to minimize spending, even as they earn more?
Okay. Okay. So for the most part, credit card expenses is a challenge for almost everyone, and being faithful to your finances, as I earlier mentioned, is key to being very strict on spending budget. That is, if you have set out a spending budget for yourself, you are sure that you are spending on your topmost prioritized needs and not just succumbing to expenses out of compulsion. That is to say that you do not have to buy just what you want, but be sure to buy what you actually need. When you face with a situation where you have to spend impulsively, you have to ask yourself the question, was I able to live freely when I didn't have this item? If the question goes back to yes, you definitely don't need what you thought you wanted. Thank you.
Okay. And last question, Quintaline. What do you do when you budgeted already for the month and you already make the limit of your budget, but there are some present financial issues that probably you have to must solve?
Okay, Mr. Oliver and Sean, we understand that in the world where we live, we have we call on certain expenses. So budgeting for your income means that you must have allotted some money for unforeseen circumstances. And I'm believing that you could as well take out money from your unforeseen circumstance budget to meet up with any excesses that might come in your management budget. So every year or periodically evaluate your financial budget, you will realize that there could be pluses or minuses, which will always go into your savings, and definitely always go and take out from that your pluses or minuses and meet up with unforeseen circumstances that show up, such that you don't get drained about how to meet up with unforeseen budgets or expenses that come up. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering our questions. You it's like you're hired. Somebody was going to hire you as their financial advisor or coach tonight. Thank you so much, Quinteline, for nailing it. We really appreciate. Of course, you have any other question, you can drop to Quinteline. And we have a question, for Melanie. Melanie, here's a question for you from Tabby King. Melanie's connection is a little bit disturbing. Connection seems not to be very good this evening. All right, so okay, Melanie skipped out again. Comes back. All right. Okay. 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 So, Quintaline, what do you say about when somebody's working? Which kind of account do you recommend for people to put their salary on? Is it checking account or saving account, and why?
I believe that having a savings account is beneficial for someone who is looking up to managing their finances. This is because with a savings account, you have some limitations to the frequency in which you could withdraw money from that account. And somehow that limits your access to withdrawing from that account. Unlike a current account where you could just run into every financial institution to get money at will, with savings account, you could as well know that where I have kept my money, I also gain some interest on it. And that is a push factor for you to want to keep your money into that account such that you get something at the end of the year. So you wouldn't want to rush to it to withdraw at will. So a savings account is very advisable than a current account. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Quintaline. I have a lot of questions for you. Okay, here's a question for Melanie. Melanie, answer this question. How do you deal with stubborn voices from trauma? You know, a lot of people are going through trauma. That's a sensitive topic at this time. Okay, Melanie, do you have a
Thank you
question to
very
that?
much, Oliver. And yes. Now, I want to answer Mr. Tabitha King. If you are going through trauma and you cannot bring yourself to positively talk to yourself and strengthen your inner voice, I would advise you to seek help from a specialist. Talk to someone that can handle that particular trauma of yours, because it is true that we read books, it is true that we do researches, but there are people who are trained to handle particular kind of cases. So if you realize that your personal effort is not helping you out, talk to someone who is a practitioner and an expert who would properly take you out of that trauma.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie. That was brilliant. That's pretty good. All right, Quintaline, you have another question for Quintaline.
Okay.
What advice do you give to someone who lives far below their income line? People who tend to value savings more than their well-being. From Carrie.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tanya Karin, for this wonderful question. That is usually a case where I wonder why someone who wants to save to better off their living standards ends up living even below their income line, which is negative or which is of disadvantage to their own well-being. In the country where I stay, the Japanese to an extent are considered as the handbrake, Japanese handbrake. I noticed that they tend to live even below their income line. So it comes to mind that as much as you want to save to better manage your finances, it is of utmost importance to strike a balance. Living below your income line to the detriment of your well-being should not be encouraged at all costs, and looking out for financial managers who can better advise you on how to strike a balance will help us to navigate this challenge. So let's, at all possibility, work towards bridging the gap between savings and not living far below our income level, which will be detrimental to our well-being. Thank you. I can't hear you.
You could ask
Please,
us
maybe you
further
should
questions
come.
while we wait. You could ask. I was addressing the audience that they could ask further questions
Ah,
while we
okay.
wait for Oliver Strong to come back online, and we will be able to read your questions. So please keep asking your questions while we wait for our host to come back online. Further questions? Okay. Then you say thanks for that smart answer, dear. People need to take care of themselves before they can save something. Wow. Saving for better days by living miserably doesn't augur well with me. Great things.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
just to clarify on that, I said it is very important to save in order to augment your financial status. But living below your income status in an effort to manage better your finances is the challenge. And I advise that it is very important to
I
strike
can't
a
hear you.
balance
Could you ask all
between.
further questions while we wait
Oh, and I was advising that it is important to strike a balance between your savings and your income level, such that you should not be so focused on savings, meanwhile, your well being is at a detriment. So, it is advisable when you find yourself in such situations to seek financial management advice to help you strike a balance between your savings and your well being. So, in no way am I advising for you to live at a detriment to savings.
Yeah, I love that. You save, and then you at least have something to eat. Um, I love that. Thank you so much, Queen. Awesome, awesome. Uh, Thanks for the smart answers here. Okay, okay. So we people need to take care of themselves before they are. Yeah, thank you so much, Queen, for putting that here. I appreciate. And of course, Quintaline is okay, we have another question here. Key take home message: if you are unable to make wise on your savings, get a financial manager. Oh yeah, yeah.
That's right.
So we have a trauma coach here and the speaker coach Melanie is there, and then of course we have a financial manager, an advisor, Quintoline Tarui is there. So if your finances are suffering from Kwachako or from any other illnesses, we have the financial coach here, Quintoline, is there to help you. manage your finances. Quintoline is actually my classmate in secondary school. You can imagine in those days we are in school together, very good friend. And it's so nice that she pursued her dream of becoming a financial coach and a financial expert. And of course, Milani is an amazing personality. She has a lot of caps. At times, she just hides a couple of them when she's coming on the live show. Milani is a barista Milani. She's a lecturer in University of Yaoundé. Uh, she owns a company and organization. She does a lot of other things. Apart from that, she's a keynote speaker. She speaks on different topics as need arises. And the good thing is that both of them, they are certified speakers and they are very good at what they do. And we're looking forward to bringing you girls, you ladies here, subsequently, so you can share more. Okay, you can share more with our people. And thank you for answering the questions. You guys are very smart because you answer very top questions and smart questions. And that makes us to be very proud of you. We only bring smart people here. So if you're not smart, you can't come here. By the way, Melanie has a question. Melanie, can you ask a question, please? You have a word?
I saw a question asking how someone asked how they can rewire their brain. I saw a question like that.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Okay, you may just go ahead and answer it before. Let's assume that the question is there.
Okay. I saw someone read. I say it should be King or so. Now, sir or ma'am, if you are the one that asked the question, I'll just give you very straight responses. Now, if you are a victim of permanent negative self talk, the ways in which you can wire your brain are, first of all, daily affirmations. You write daily affirmations, put it beside a mirror where you can see it first thing in the morning. When you stand in front of that mirror, you say that to yourself. I am worthy. I'm enough. I'm strong. I can do this. I am this. I am that. I am that. I understand that I can be this person. I understand that I have the capacity. Those are daily affirmations you can say to yourself every morning. And make sure you stand in front of a mirror because that is the exact reflection of who you are because you're talking to yourself. Secondly, try journaling. Journal your thoughts. Journal your thoughts. There is no way your own write ups are going to betray you. And when you start journaling your thoughts, writing them down, you will realize the things that run in your brain and you will be able to work on them. If you find out that they are always negative, you have to change them. Thirdly, mindfulness and silence. You need to hear your voice again and again. And how do you do that? Learn to have a quiet time on your own. Preferably, put off the light, sit on a very comfortable position, and think about the things that are stressing your life. Think about the voices, the external voices that are making
The village people are doing their work. Oh. All right. That was a good one there, Neil. Hey, just a big high shout out to Dr. Tanwi Kari. Amazing gentlewoman, amazing personality. Thank you for showing up, Dr. Tanwi Kari. We are proud and so happy to have you here. Thank you for showing up, our own president, Lenya Christina. You are infatigable, relentless, and always present. We are so proud of you. Thank you for showing up, uh, the one and only Gu Benedicta Cheng. Great job, Cheng. Amazing job. Thank you for showing up. That before King, that's my man. All right, over to you, Milani. I said the village people are doing their job again, cutting off connections
they are
everywhere.
they are doing a crazy job, Oliver. Yes, I was saying that you have to learn thoughtfulness and quiet and silence. So spend some quality time by yourself and think. Let work on your mind. Spend a quiet. If you can meditate, learn meditation. And when you keep that quiet moment, you will hear yourself clearly. And the last thing I will say is learn to be your inner coach. Learn to coach yourself. I am my inner coach. Because if you don't, the world will show you shiggy, as we say it. They will feed you with what you have to know. And sometimes you feel, you hear yourself, you hear what people say about you, and you're asking, are they talking about me? Because you cannot relate between what and who you really are. So be your inner coach and say to yourself that which you believe for yourself.
Okay, great.
That will
Thank
widen
you so
your
much,
mind.
everybody. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And that was how we saw it for today.
Thank you.
We are so glad to have Mil and Quintolin here tonight. And now, how much do you guys charge for your speaking and coaching? Okay, let's start with Melanie. How much is your coaching fee? Maybe somebody want to book you to speak in their upcoming conference after you've done this presentation on trauma, Septor. Maybe do you want to let people know how they can book you to speak in the event? How can people reach out to you to book you, please? Melanie, how can people reach out to you to book you for keynote or coaching? Okay, Quintolin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Oliver.
Yeah, how can people reach out to you to book you to speak in a finance conference or in a conference or to coach them on one-on-one basis, please?
Definitely getting to me through my social media handles, or more preferably through my coach, should I say, Mr. Oliver Shong. It's a pathway to get to me easily, and then we take it from there depending on what the grounds of your advice is or your coaching you expect of is.
Awesome. Yeah. This is so important. Quintolin is my personal financial coach. So she's very good at what she does. Yeah, she has been doing this for a long time, and she got some experiences in it, and she has definitely helped me a lot in that aspect. That's why we scrutinize people that we bring here. So she's really good. All right, Melanie, can you come and answer your question, please? The village people are doing well. Let's not accuse the village people. They are sleeping by now. So internet is crazy, bro. Melanie. Okay, if you want to reach out to Melanie, I think she's on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So you can check out LinkedIn. Melanie Polminji, and then Melanie should be able to answer your hi or hello, Melanie. I heard you spoke and I would love you to speak in my upcoming events. Just send a text to Melanie and she'll be able to respond to that accordingly. All right. So, Queen, do you have any parting words? Last word as we wrap up. We're left with 2 minutes. Yes.
I just want to thank everyone for joining once more and encourage you that finances is something that can be managed as much as we do not have to live like we must do this now. But gradually, as you practice the principles of better financial management, I believe that you achieve your goal and you'll be at ease with yourself such that you can better maximize your potential in every field you find yourself in. Remember that money is the amplifier of every voice. So do your best to manage it better. Thank you so much.
Wow. Remember that money is the amplifier of everything. So do your best to manage it well. That was a powerful punchline there, and I'm going home with that. Oh my gosh, that it's not good to be broke.
Never.
Thank you so much. That touched me, man. So oh my gosh, we're missing Melanie
And
have
sorry,
parting words.
Oliver, just to add, in case you are interested in maybe a one-on-one coaching or something, you could reach out to me on my Facebook handle or Instagram handle, send a hi, just type in my name, Tanwe Quintolin, and of course, I'll be glad to respond to your hi.
Okay. Is your name there?
Yeah, Tanwe Quintolin, it's written on.
Okay, your name is right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So the name is, yeah, I think it's right there. Okay. Hey, Melanie is back. Good enough. Okay. You can get to Quintolin using the name Tanwi Quintolin. Pretty good. All right. Thank you so much, Queen. Let's hear Melani's parting word. Melanie, what are your parting words as we close the curtains of this conversation for tonight? And how can people reach out to you to book you for a speaking engagement or one-on-one? Okay, Melanie, unmute your mic, please. Melanie, check your mic, please. Your mic. Melanie, your mic. Your mic. Your mic. Check your mic and talk to us.
All right. Thank you very much, Oliver. To part with this wonderful audience today, I will say that the loudest voice that you should get used to hearing should be your voice. And if you have to get that, I am unmuted.
You're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Of course.
Over to you. Okay, are you done?
I am unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Whew. The network is crazy.
Melanie, you're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Oh. All right. Thank you so much, Melanie, for these words. Listen to yourself, listen to your inner self, be your coach. And like I said, you can reach out to Melanie on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on her YouTube channel. Uh, excuse me, we are booked time, 2 minutes. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. You can drop more questions to any of the speaker for tonight, and they would definitely come back and answer. I'll reach out to them with these questions, or our team community will reach out to them with these questions. It was such a wonderful time, and it was so exciting having two speakers, amazing speakers, that were willing to share with us. Boom! Until we meet again, next week is another opportunity. We will love to have you again as we're going to be bringing in another line of speakers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. And welcome, Melanie. Great. So, you want to give your social media links, how people can reach out to you, Melanie?
You can reach out to me on social media, Mel Speaks 24 on social media or TikTok. On TikTok, I am Mel Speaks. Can you hear me, Oliver? The network is crazy.
Yeah, they're listening to you. Okay.
Oliver, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. TikTok. What's your name on TikTok, please? What's the name on TikTok?
On Facebook, Instagram, Mel Speaks 24. Instagram, Mel Speaks 24.
Awesome.
On LinkedIn, I am Melanie Pwemeji. In bracket, Mel Speaks. In my full name. LinkedIn is my full name, Melanie Pwemeji.
Awesome. Okay. And that is it for today. Next week is another opportunity, and see you, Melanie. Thank you so much for your powerful presentation. Stay blessed and see you at the top of the world. Awesome, guys.